Trapping.
Hey, what's up, people? Welcome back to Size Boys Podcast. I'm Jacob, and I'm here with
Kirby.
And this is episode 118, and it's your birthday episode. Not that it's his birthday this exact day when it's airing, but it's coming up in the week when this is out, so, yeah.
I think I know exactly where I want to go eat.
What?
The epic egg all the way up in Estes.
Oh my god.
I just want to spend a time up in Estes. Is that so hard to ask?
Yeah, but like, gas.
Well, the way that you said yeah.
But like, gas, bro.
I got you. Here's a 20. And it's just Monopoly money.
No, I've only like gone up to Estes usually during like summer times, like June, July. Usually, it's kind of one of the only times I've really been up there.
I like going up in the wintertime.
Yeah.
Mountains in wintertime, in my opinion, it's cold as fuck.
Yeah.
Like, if you go up to the mountains in wintertime, it's not even comparable here, where it's just like...
And here it gets cold, so I can't even imagine. It's higher elevation, you know what I mean? Like,
not only the higher elevation, because the clouds are also closer, so when it snows, it snows. Or when it rains, it really comes down. But that's kind of like the more peaceful part about it, in my opinion, is the fact that like it comes down hard, so it's very serene.
Yeah.
But it's more like it's also depending on like what part of the mountains, because I'm not talking about foothills. If you're on top of a mountain, it's going to be cold, but it's only going to be cold from the snow and the temperature itself. Whereas if you're in a valley, it mostly like it stays in and it stays cold. It could be summer and you could be in those valleys like Estes.
Yeah.
And you could still go around without with a jacket on, in my opinion, because it kind of traps everything, which is also the same for the heat. It really depends.
Yeah.
What's your favorite shop in Estes?
Favorite shop in Estes?
Yeah, like store.
I can't remember, but there was this one. I can't remember.
Is it a candy shop?
It wasn't a candy shop, but I think I was like 10 at the time, but I don't know why. But this like store had like really cool like fucking crystals.
Oh, you're okay. I was about to say you're one of those people, but I'm guessing you were young.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I was young. Like I wouldn't necessarily I wouldn't necessarily get crystals now, but like when I was younger, I thought they were like one of the coolest fucking things.
I thought so too, where they'd have like the ones all the way up here.
Yeah.
And then they'd be marked for like $20,000.
I remember because I got like a small like fucking like red pink looking one. And I held on to that forever. I don't know what the fuck happened to it.
Red and pink.
It had like a red pinkish color. Like it was like a bright red, basically, like a bright red. Like almost like that red.
Garnet?
Yeah.
Is that what you're thinking of?
I think so. Well, it's kind of like this red, I think. Like a very bright, like red color.
I remember because I had one of those too. I kept for the longest time. I loved it. It was a rose quartz ball. So, you know, they're one of the pink ones. But no, when I was younger, I loved seeing those like crystal things. I thought they were the coolest things in the world. But now that I'm an adult, I'm like, who the fuck would spend $20,000 on a crystal? This better give me like superpowers or some shit.
Well, because like there's like certain like, for example, because like my mom and sister are like very like spiritual, because my mom kind of had like certain like crystals that are supposed to meant to like help with like certain things.
Your sister was the same way too.
Yeah, well, that's why I said both my mom and sister.
Oh, I thought you just said your mom.
Oh, no. But, because I think mom even said, like, there's this crystal that she gave me, and it was supposed to be a matter of, it protecting me, like, in certain, certain scenarios or some shit like that, like, in, you know, like, the spiritual kind of shit. Honestly, when we went to Crosswinds, when Sarah handed Zach that thing that relieves like kind of like physical pain or whatever, just the things like that. But even though like mom wasn't necessarily into like the crystals as much, she was more into like the oils and stuff like that. Which
the oil, okay, some of the oils I could understand, because some of them, because your body needs oils in order to kind of preserve itself. Like an example is you can kind of see it on your nose when you look in the mirror. Those like spots on your nose.
Yeah.
Those are blackheads. So they're
blackheads. Yeah.
They're like pimples. So people will do a thing to remove them. which is good if you haven't done it like at all in your life. But if you don't do it, your nose like becomes completely dry.
Yeah.
Because what they do is they absorb all the moisture and put it back in your skin because it's built into your skin.
Yeah.
Rosemary oil, if you know what that does.
I forget.
Hair.
Yeah, that's right.
It's meant for hair growth. Dude, actually, if there's something I'd recommend for you, because it does wonders for me when I tried this, because I was staying at a girl's house in Fort Collins a few days ago.
3 days ago, huh?
It's not a story. That
Did y'all fuck? No.
Yeah. Yeah, we fucked. So what?
You're getting more.
She had a mustache.
I'm Amanda. I'm 6.
No, but she had rosemary oil, but it was in shampoo and conditioner, and I tried it, and then after showering, and it kind of had the same effect when I tried cold water. It feels like that my hair grew like 10 inches thicker. Like it just makes it not only grow faster. Rosemary is just good for hair.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think what else, because hemp's pretty good for lotion. If you know what that is. It's like the chemical in weed.
Yeah.
It's good for rope as well. I don't know the science behind that one though. Hemp being good for rope.
I don't know, honestly.
I think it just makes the rope smoother.
Something like that. I don't fucking know.
But no, it's amazing where it's like, you're drugged up, weed's bad for you. Then why the fuck do they keep putting it in everything? That's like saying, oh, you're such an alcoholic. Oh, really? Why is it in medicine?
It's like, they say, like even, like, scientifically speaking, they say this helps with things like fucking sleep, anxiety,
depression. Cancer. They prescribe it for cancer.
Yeah.
Like, you have lung cancer, and they're like, don't worry, bro, smoke this.
Well, because, like, it sucks because, like, for people like us who are trying to get jobs, they drug test for, like, almost fucking everything now.
But yeah, weed is everywhere.
Especially in fucking Colorado.
And if you want to know something about...
Especially Colorado.
Okay, real quick, before I even ask you this, because this relates to the topic, how do you think we get alcohol? It's kind of the same as wine.
Fucking, I'm trying to...
It's grown on a plant. Here, I'll search it up, just that way I could be 100% certain.
Don't they say, though, that, like, if they between weed and alcohol's, like, more likely to kill you than weed is, or something like that? Or, like, weed, or, like, alcohol's unhealthier.
So, here's the thing, and people are quick to disregard. They say that weed's healthier than cigarettes. You just get more benefits out of weed. Yeah. But you're still inhaling smoke, nonetheless, so you're still getting that lung cancer juice. Yeah. That's the part I will always be like, no, you're not saving your lungs doing this unless you're doing like edibles. And
shit. I was gonna say, like, when it comes to, like, edibles, that's like in the gummy.
No, yeah, then in that case it works better. Why? And it's the reason why it works faster when it's or not faster, but it hits harder when it's an edible. Yeah. Because it's the same thing I remember when I did mushrooms and acid. It takes a while. Yeah. But once it's in your system, it's in. Yeah. And then it gets to the point where what it does, just like, because it's more in your blood. Yeah. Faster than smoking, because smoke, it goes into your lungs. That's why lungs turn black from smoking. Yeah. So weed does the same thing, but, you know, when it goes into your lungs, it's in your system and it's in your blood. Yeah. But when it's in your digestive system, keep in mind, you still have to exit it, so it stays kind of in longer. It entirely dissolves inside of you. Yeah. But no, yeah, alcohol, as far as smoking goes, the only two things I could think of when it comes to smoking weed is lung cancer, and I want to just say it's an effect that I've had too, but it's just forgetting certain memories. But, like, it's never been so bad that it's like I forgot that 9/11 happened. Yeah. Let's see. How is...
They're like, oh yeah, you don't remember freaking... our country is under attack and nearly fucking 2,000 people died that day?
Okay, so actually alcohol is kind of made the same way bread is, by wheat.
Really?
So, think of Egypt. Like, have you ever seen... You've seen Prince of Egypt, right? You who I call brother, How have you have come to hate me so? Is this what you wanted?
Yeah. It's been a really fucking long time.
But you know, it's the story of Moses.
Yeah.
And that was made by DreamWorks. Have you ever watched their other movie on it called Joseph the King of Dreams? It's based off an actual biblical story too.
Probably not. But...
So, Joseph was a son of this man who had many sons. I don't know the entire story or history behind that, but he got captured after his brothers sold him to slavery. And then he had dreams of visions, and then that's how he became the right-hand man of the Pharaoh, and then eventually I think he became the Pharaoh. I could be wrong. He became a ruler of some sorts. But while looking at the crops, their crops were fields of wheat.
Yeah.
And alcohol came from all over the world. Egypt is not exclusive of that. How they would do it is they would ferment it like yeast. Bread, yeast.
Yeah.
So that's actually one of the reasons why they recommend having bread while drinking. It makes you last longer because the bread absorbs all of it.
Yeah.
But here's what it is. Alcohol, also known as ethanol, which is the more chemical thing of it, like the stuff that you have in hand sanitizer.
Yeah.
Is produced through a chemical reaction called fermentation, which you do with grapes as well.
Okay.
So that's how you get wine.
I was gonna say something with grapes or I was thinking fruit with certain alcohol.
You could do it with a lot of things. You could do it with Mountain Dew.
Yeah. You could.
During fermentation, yeast or bacteria, the wheat part, reacts with the sugars in the grains, fruits or vegetables to produce ethanol and carbon dioxide. The ethanol then evaporated and condense in a process called distillation, which can produce up to 95% pure ethanol. So I need to see. Oh yeah, rice is also another way they do it. That's how you get sake in Asian countries, because rice is more commonly grown there.
Yeah.
I wish that there was a better way it could describe it. The entire life, I guess, of it.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah. So you get grains from those type of places. Mill it, you cook it, liquefy it. So you turn basically what's supposed to be grains of everything of wheat into liquid. And you could do that pretty much by heating it and mashing it, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you cook it. So it's that's how you get applesauce. You not only beat the apple, you cook it.
Yeah.
Then you do the fermentation, which dry ice and other uses by bottling it. You distill it by putting it with liquid or even solids, and then it evaporates. So basically the stuff lifts, and then all the liquid that lifts off of it is put into bottles.
Okay.
So it's the stuff that rises out from it, because you can't drink the stuff exactly.
Yeah.
And then they put it in a tank. Then they put it in a dryer or a distiller. But yeah, alcohol is grown by plants as well.
Yeah.
So and people are ironic like that, where it's you're smoking things that grow from the ground. You're drinking things that grow from the ground. What, do you think that they just grabbed water and put some shit in there?
It kind of reminds me about people who smoke cigarettes and vape just fucking argue about which one's worse. You know what I mean?
In my opinion, vape's worse.
Because I agree, because isn't what they put in vapes fucking all kinds of chemical and
They do the same thing with tobacco. Okay,
because
I'll end this debate
tobacco,
here.
Because with the cigarettes, it's from a plant too, right?
Tobacco.
Yeah.
It's a plant that grows.
Yeah. Tobacco.
Actually native to North America. That's why it was usually called Indian tobacco.
Yeah.
Because, Native Americans you'd always see them smoking out of a long pipe.
Yeah.
Tobacco came from America. Then when Christopher Columbus came down here, he took tobacco back with him. Yeah. But here's the thing. No, there's chemicals as well. A lot of chemicals in tobacco. Pesticides for one, but that's a whole different thing. I don't know exactly how that works. I actually think that the pesticides don't do much, because it's like a chemical.
Yeah.
But it's like a bacteria thing. But bacteria, can be taken away when you burn it.
Yeah.
And you burn a cigarette. So here's how a cigarette works. It has nicotine in it as well. That's what makes it addictive.
Yeah.
And I actually noticed this because I saw a TikTok video explaining this. And then when I smoked my next cigarette while I'm watching this, she was right. So, this is how they get you addicted to cigarettes. And this is why, actually, it's more than just tobacco with paper and a filter. The filter is cotton, same material as our clothes, that way it's breathable. But it's also just so you don't get all that stuff, like the leaves, into your mouth.
Yeah.
Because they had unfiltered cigarettes for the longest time, because filtered cigarettes were expensive. So they have this certain type of paper, I don't remember exactly what it's called, but they put nicotine highly concentrated at the very first tip of it. So when you take your first 2 to 3 drags, that's what gives you that buzz. So that's the reason why, like Zach taking his in on how he has like that buzz out of nowhere. That's because that's nicotine. But whereas if it was pure tobacco, you wouldn't get that buzz.
Yeah.
It's just the nicotine. But then they had a certain other type of chemical inside of it in the middle of the cigarette that keeps it mundane, and then more nicotine back where the filter is, so that way when you smoke down, and I noticed this because I always realized I wanted to smoke my cigarettes all the way down to the filter.
Yeah.
And so while I was smoking, and she said that the nicotine is also concentrated here and concentrated here, so that way you get addicted at the start, you work through, and then it's great at the end. And that's how they keep you on. The beginning and the end of it.
Okay.
But the other part about it that I'm going to say, I'm not going to say that vaping is healthier or smoking is healthier.
Yeah.
But
if we had to go between the two, vaping is definitely, well...
Definitely what were you going to say?
Like, unhealthier, just because, like...
So...
From the things that I've heard of, like, or at least seen myself, because obviously, like, I don't, like, really smoke or vape or anything like that, but, like,
Flashback to that one day I walked to the back of Zach's party and I saw you holding a vape and I'm like, Jacob!
There's a thing that, I've had people, like, say if I want to try, a hit of a vape or anything like that, I'm like, yeah, sure. But then, like, I'm not fucking, like, I don't have one of my own, like that, does that make sense? Like, I don't have one, like, I don't consider myself that because I don't do it on a daily basis. I don't, when someone offers me something, like, and I don't mind, I'll be like, yeah, sure, you know?
Right.
Like, and that's one thing I will say is that, like, yeah, I've tried it, but, like, I'm not, like, I don't do it on a daily basis, is what I'm trying to say. Like, I don't consider myself as, like, a smoker, like a vapor, because I don't do it on, like, a daily basis. Like, it's not part of my regular daily life, or whatever you want to call it. But I will say, like, because, like, I've seen, like, people who vape and people who, like, smoke cigarettes, it's, like, because seeing people that try to go without vaping, it's, like, they kind of, like, act like...
Crackhead.
Yeah! Like, it's fucking insane. And people that, like...
That smoke cigarettes, you see them...
They kind of, like, they want to smoke, but, like, but it's not, like, a fucking, like...
I think you notice that with me, mostly. Where it's, like, I don't twitch or anything, but you see me where it's, like, I just want to smoke.
Yeah. Where it's just, like, it's like an urge that you want, but with fucking people who vape, they're just, like going fucking nuts. So, it's like, calm the fuck down.
The difference between that is the sense that nicotine, it's just nothing but pure nicotine in a vape. The other part about it that I'm gonna say, the only reason I again, as much as I say I don't really have the thing to say like this is healthier than the other, because the truth is you're gonna die from it if you keep doing it long enough. Or you could be lucky that you live your whole life to your old age.
Yeah, because I was going to say, because, like, didn't we talk about, like, there was, like, this older lady that was, like, in her 100s, and she was still smoking fucking cigarettes?
Marlboro Reds.
Marlboro Reds, yeah.
Which is the pack I smoked for the longest time.
Yeah.
That was, my first ever cigarette was Marlboro Golds, which I smoked for a little bit.
Yeah.
Because they were easier, but they burned out quick, which I didn't like. Derringers were cheap, but they were shit. Like, they'd last for a long time, but they were nothing but chemicals, which I didn't like. I smoked for the luxury.
Yeah. Like, that's just something that, like, yeah, because, like, with you, or, like, because I have other people that I know that, like, smoke, too. Like, I have some family members that are, like, parents, whatnot, that, like, smoke. And when they go without it, they don't, like, go crazy. They're just like, oh, I just want to smoke. Like, it's, like, an urge that, like, you know, like...
Like, they'll find a way to smoke, But you don't see them. But oh my god!
But like the people that I've seen that
like this,
try to go that, or they're just like, I need a vape right now. I'm gonna go fucking crazy. Like they get angry. I'm just like, calm the fuck down.
Right. And the thing is,
god damn.
When Zach started stealing my cigarettes to like see how I'd react, the thing was, I only got annoyed over the sense of like, if I lost my cigarettes and I couldn't find them, that's one thing. But if they were taken from me, I would be annoyed. And then Zach's like, oh, but if you're addicted to this, then you're if you've been doing this and you're addicted because of the way you're reacting. And then I did one thing back to him just so he could prove this. I took his phone, and then
that's like everybody though.
No,
that's all of us.
Exactly,
feel like.
But that's the thing. It's just when you lost something, you're going to search for it because you like it.
Yeah.
And then, so when I took Zach's phone and I hit it, he started, what everyone does is looking around, calling to see if, or asking us to call to see if we could find his phone.
Yeah.
And then we couldn't. And then I said, oh, I just had your phone. And then he got angry. It was like, dude, what the fuck? What if someone called me? Or it's like, I could understand that necessity, but he acted the same as me.
Yeah.
And it wasn't the fact that I was annoyed that he took him. I just said, like, dude, it's the fact that you just...
It was an addiction experiment.
it was, but it was more along the sense of, like, I will admit, I'm addicted to cigarettes. But for me, I wasn't searching for them because I was searching for them because I was addicted. But it wasn't because I wanted to have one in that moment or because I couldn't live without it.
Yeah.
But when you lose something, you're going to search for it, is the part I was trying to make.
Yeah.
But I agree. When it came down to people with vapes, they were the worst.
They really are, because I'm not gonna say names, but I knew someone personally.
Oh, if not vapes, Zins.
Yeah, like I'm not gonna say names, but I know someone personally, and you probably know who I'm talking about.
And.
No, not her. She didn't come till later.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, she was. Oh my god. But she didn't have one. She was acting like it was the fucking end of the world. Not saying names, but
I mean, you've even seen me go a few days without cigarettes where it's like, man, I want to smoke. I just don't have the money for it. Yeah. It's just, if I have money, I spend it on cigarettes.
Well, that's another thing. Well, I don't know if you mind me saying, but when you were smoking weed for a while.
Go ahead. No, okay. I'm fine if you talk about this.
Okay, because I know there was one where... You would go like there's a time where you would kind of go a while with like smoking weed and whatnot, and then when it came to times where like you didn't have it for a while, you were like, I can't sleep, like, you know, like it was kind of like a thing there for a little bit where you didn't have it for the few days that you did, or a week or so. I can't remember what it was.
I agree with that. The only thing I'll still get at is I still have trouble sleeping. That was the only...
Yeah.
That was, at first, the only reason I picked it back up.
But the thing that I'm getting at is that, like, when you were talking about how, like, you really wanted to smoke weed, you were like, dude, I just can't fucking sleep. Like, you were just like, ugh. Like, you were kind of, like... Not, like, overly, but you're just kind of just, like, you know, like, I can't sleep. Like, you were kind of, like... Not, I won't say, like, worried or... But it was just, like... It was...
Annoyed.
Yeah, it was, like, a little bit like
that.
Like,
the type of annoyed where it's, like, you get angry.
Yeah.
And it's... Then once I stopped smoking and I laid off of it a little bit, and then when I had it casually, because I've been smoking weed almost my whole life, it finally became something that I was like, I could pick this up and stop it the same day. Because like recently I've done it again, but that was like 2 months that I was sober.
Yeah.
So it's like, that's definitely better than for like the 5 months that I was smoking weed.
Yeah.
I picked up smoking weed mostly because of anxiety at Village Inn.
Yeah, because you were there for how long?
I was there for 6 months, and then my parents made me leave to go to Cali.
Yeah.
You know, something I actually still get pissed off about that? Is my parents are like, find a job. It should have been easy after Village Inn. And I want to bring up to them, and I haven't. They made me leave Village Inn.
Yeah.
I probably would still have that job. I probably still would be fine financially if I never had to leave.
Yeah.
I mean, I made good memories in California. I don't regret it.
Yeah.
But if we're going off of the way that my life was, I was just searching for another job during that time.
Yeah.
But I wasn't just going to straight up leave Village Inn.
Yeah.
Like, that's not a responsible thing to do.
I mean, because, like...
Because Village Inn, as much as I did not like that job to my entirety, the coworkers, I remember the coworkers more fondly than any other job I worked at.
Well, because, like, it's kind of like... Because... I've only had 2 jobs so far in my only as far as in my adult life, which I know doesn't sound very impressive, but I talked about it before about my first job at Lowe's when I still lived in Florida. I still talk about how I kind of regret leaving that job because
Lowe's?
yeah, just because that like I was doing so well financially, but I was also just like mentally just like so fucking like because I've talked about how like last year was like the lowest time in my life and how I kind of told stories a little bit about behind that, but
Well,
like
yeah, you were down next to the sea. You were at the lowest elevation of your life.
but like the thing is that like I guess that's where I kind of learned that like happiness or like a lot of money does not always equal happiness, because like that was like the point of like, yeah, I had a lot of money from that job, but like I was just like I had no fucking friends there. I was in a toxic fucking relationship at the time, or just got out of one but was still dealing with it. And at that point it was just a matter of like, okay, my financial or like my work life or my fucking mental health. That's what it kind of came down to, and only after working there for a month, that's when I considered I stopped, because I was planning on moving back here, and thank God that worked out as well as it did. And my second job, it was a seasonal job, so I didn't really have a choice in being there for a while. I was only there for 2 weeks. It was at Burlington. It was last November. I think I talked about that. I probably talked about it at the time. But yeah, and I worked as like a front cashier for 2 weeks. It was part-time. I had like until like 4 shifts, but I still had I was able to get that experience behind that. But yeah, but that's just kind of like my longest lasting job was like a month. And just like, if I didn't ever move back here, I would probably still have the fucking Lowe's job, and I'd probably have like a really good, a really lot of money in my bank account probably. But like at that point, it was just, I was already at my lowest as it was at that point. So like we never know what the fuck would have happened. So like, and now like I'm same as him. Like I'm searching for jobs. Like right now I haven't been as of late because I'm focusing on graduation, because graduation is really coming up in like when we're filming this, it's coming up in 2 weeks. So I'm really making sure that I graduate that way. When I have my diploma, showing that will hopefully help boost opportunities or higher what do you call it? Higher chances or something, or better chances of getting a job, I should say. But yeah, that was just kind of like my thing. But yeah, saying how like he would have stayed at Village Inn if he didn't have to leave for Cali is kind of like saying I would still have my Lowe's job if I didn't decide to move back here. So yeah, even though I was just depressed as fuck, I was depressed as fuck. Okay, still am, but wasn't as much as I was then.
Intense, yeah. What's the name for it? I don't think crippling depression is the correct term. I think
because the thing was like I had like no fucking friends.
Chronically, I think.
Yeah, I still had you guys, but like in Florida, I had fucking nobody.
Yeah.
And I was in a very toxic relationship, and I fallen into things I'm not really proud of at the time.
I'm not gonna lie, recently I got mad and I wrote a poem about you and you're in it.
Oh, okay.
It's
like him and his fucking twisted eye.
I didn't say twisted eyes. I wish I had the poem with me, because I made slam poetry.
Oh my god. We all need to do that for a future video. Just create fucking slam poetry.
Yo, the thing is this isn't comedy slam poetry. I cried making this.
Oh shit.
I literally poured my heart and emotions into it.
Damn.
Like, if I showed it to you, you would know the part that I'm talking about with you.
Because tonight will be the night, and I will fall for you over again. It's just fucking that in the fucking poem. Oh man. Or just that like,
my life is shit, and it's all the fault of the crooked man, the crooked smile. Ooh.
I did my time and I won out. Fucking turns into a Slipknot song.
Me and Hunter were making a joke on something like that in the car. Where it's just like a car almost hit us on our way to the what is it, that tabletop store?
Yeah.
And he's like, fuck, I'm done. And I'm just there like, and I've begun. And it's like, the rain will kill us all. And then he turns the steering wheel towards the oncoming driver. It's like, and throw ourselves against the wall.
Oh my god.
And no one else can see the pieces of the faggot in me. Psychosocial. Fuck my asshole.
Oh my god.
And it's like, cold and regret. I miss my family.
Oh my god.
No, but what got me through most of my life, I'd want to say, if we're going on to the depression thing and my drug thing, the only thing that got me through most of my life was drugs, like weed mostly. So it's like when my life was shit again, I fell back onto it.
I mean, at least you're being honest. I mean,
like, it's still something I use an excuse then, but I still see it now that I'm out of it more.
Yeah.
It's like, it's something I grew up doing.
Yeah.
So it was, and here was the thing, and I actually wrote it in my slam poetry too, where it's, when you guys wanted me to quit, I could understand.
Yeah.
The part about it though was you were all angry about it, wanting me to quit. So I had this like sense of shame, but I didn't want to quit. And then later on, I had to decide for myself. But I'm going to say that when it came down to things like that, it didn't help when you guys were angry, because you guys would say that you'd care, and I believe you at that. I'm not going to get you wrong. But when you're in that moment is the part I'm going to say.
Yeah.
Like, when you're in that moment, you don't see that. You just feel attacked.
Yeah.
That's like me hearing that you... I'm just going to throw out a hypothetical where you fucking wanted to bleach your eyes so you could understand what it's like to be blind. That's why I'm like, I can't like use anything that you've already done because that feels intense. But it's like, and then me coming up to you and it's like, why the fuck would you do that, you fucking retard?
Yeah.
It's like, it's not going to make you learn.
Yeah. Well, because like something like that I try to keep in consideration too, because I know it's something that we've talked about, because you talked about how like, you know, drugs have kind of been around your whole life because you kind of grew up around that, and then like I guess at that kind of sense it's that like
alcohol for you.
Not as intensely, but just like it was kind of like the only thing that you knew that like kind of felt like a temporary solution. And like even I guess like when you're older, that still kind of feels that way.
Well, the other reason why I think I felt that is I was talking with my dad about like, why'd you give me and Kyra and Lily weed, and then later on my brothers, and my dad said like, because my stepmom was working as a nurse in hospitals and she'd work nights, and then during the day she'd have to take care of us, so she got shit sleep.
Yeah.
And it got to the point that she'd scream bloody murder at us, like the type that your mom would when she's like drunk.
Yeah.
Except she was just sober.
Yeah.
Then my dad's and my dad hated his job, so he was like, "What if we just smoked weed?" And it worked for Kristen and Dad because they got good sleep out of it, and I think they got like some of the benefits out of it too.
Yeah.
And then they talked about giving it to Lily and Kyra, because Kyra was going in and out of mental health facilities.
Yeah.
And Lily also just went to a mental health facility, and their grades were slipping. And then as soon as my parents gave them weed, their grades went up, and there was just no more mental health facility after that.
Yeah.
And then I went to the mental health facility. And then they were like, what if we tried giving it to Kirby? The thing is, my grades didn't go up. But the thing is this is my 8th grade year. Because I went to the mental health facility in my 8th grade year, the school board decided that because of my mental health crisis, that I could progress to the next grade. And I passed my 9th grade year, surprisingly. Yeah. But during this time, we all smoked weed except for my younger brothers. And keep in mind, my younger brothers are like 12, 13.
Yeah.
And I'm like 14, 15. Then my brothers go outside one day, and then they see me and my dad smoking weed, and they're like, what the fuck, why can't we join? And then my brothers kind of gave my dad an ultimatum of, we'll tell. And my dad just decided it'd be easier to give it to them. And then it became a thing all of us did. We would fucking have like a circle in the backyard every weekend.
Oh my God.
But it became so casual in my family, at least in my dad's house. It became casual. And then as I got older, me and my dad, we've reconciled over it, especially after learning about that he wanted to give it to us to help us because it helped with his 2 other kids. But the part where I have to say my dad should have been wiser, my dad has been in and out of rehab in his younger years.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, should have kind of known what this might have led into.
Yeah.
And it's another thing about weed they call it a gateway drug.
Yeah.
Because they're like, oh, you're going to be chasing a bigger high for the rest of your life. It's kind of true. Yeah. But you meet some of those people that are like, no, I've done nothing but weed. Where it's like, it's not entirely the case. That if you're trying to chase something, your next high, then it's either because someone offered it to you.
Yeah.
Or weed has no more effect on you. I think there's a point of no return with some of them, though.
Yeah.
Like, I think acid and mushrooms, you could definitely come back from. I think the point of no return is probably meth.
Really?
It's amazing on how addictive it is. So, there's different ways it's made. The purest type of meth, it's called methylamine, or methamphetamines. Yeah. You use something called methylamine to make it, and you could use some certain other things. Some people even put chili powder and such into meth because it's like their own ingredient. Because you're cooking meth. That's how it's made. It's a chemical. Mm-hmm. That's why the show Breaking Bad's such a hit. It's a chemistry teacher and a drug dealer.
Yeah.
But the way that crystal meth works, it gives you a high that nothing else can compare to.
Yeah.
And that's the part that's scary. But the thing is the way it's made is so chemically induced, it's unhealthy for that.
Yeah.
But second, it's on the way that weed is, the way that mushrooms is, the way that acid is nothing compared to meth. Yeah. Like when I did my acid trip, like, stuff was shaky. I was so giddy. My senses were dulled when I was off of it. I was just shaking for a little bit because I was sobering up from it. And that was just the one time I did it. And that's everyone. Yeah. And some people do it very often with acid. I've only done it that once. Yeah. Mushrooms is different. You don't get that much effects. Yeah. You get some mental effects, I'd say. It made me slower. But with meth, it could get to the point that you get so high and you're like, think of on how dumb Zach is when he smokes. Yeah. Now, let's say if he was on meth, I think he would be the type to literally bite his tongue off while being that high. Yeah. In some cases that happens where it's like they scratch themselves so hard that like they actually like cut themselves with their nails or you've seen people come back from cocaine at least. So I wouldn't label that as the point of no return. I'm trying to think, but yeah, meth is probably the worst. Yeah. There's some types of there's like different variants of meth as well. Yeah. Like there's blue meth, there's red meth, and then there's pure glass. And glass is like they call it glass because it's just pure white. Yeah. And that's like the purest you could get. And the thing with meth as well, the other name for it is crack. So you have crack, meth, methamphetamines. Those are the names for it. You smoke meth. You smoke crack. So when they say the name smoking crack, that's meth.
What are you doing, man? Smoking crack?
Yep, that's meth. So what you do is you take the glass, you put it in this bottle. Don't ask how I know this. I've never done meth.
He's learned... He has knowledge of things, I'm not going to say what. But...
Street cred.
Back in my day.
They literally make crack pipes for it. No. So you put it in a pipe, and then the tube on the top's open. You drop it in, you heat it up, and then it kind of liquefies. And then you...
shit, I should probably do the fucking...
But if you want to know the reason why you see so many people out on the streets that like look poor as fuck, but like prostitute themselves for money and shit like that, or mostly beg.
Yeah.
And they look like shit, versus the people who at least look clean and are asking for money. The people who look clean are probably not doing the meth. The people that you see that just look absolutely dirty,
yeah,
or like look like a Florida stripper. Those ones are most likely on meth. People will do insane shit for meth.
Yeah. But I should probably do the fucking halftime advertisement in over 10 minutes.
Imagine we make it like a Family Guy, The Weather Report. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Where it's like, what should we do, Al? Subscribe to the podcast! Subscribe to Jacob Dollywise! Thank you, Al.
I don't know, but, yeah, so, yeah, I'm not doing the halftime advertising. I know this episode's getting a little real, but, you know, that's okay. It's good to, you know, let that shit out and stuff like that instead of holding it in.
Get addicted to this podcast.
But yeah, but so...
Smoke your computer.
Oh man, but yeah, if you guys haven't subscribed to the podcast, yeah, what the hell are you freaking doing? Subscribe to the podcast and turn notifications on if you haven't already. We're at 26 podcast subscribers, so thank you guys so much for all the love and support and whatnot. And for you guys, we appreciate you guys for tuning in every Saturday and spending a little bit of your weekend with us. It's always a lot of fun here. And whatnot, and make sure to hit the link in the description and go subscribe to my main channel. As we're recording this, I just hit 300 subscribers. You guys are amazing. This is definitely the most challenging milestone since I've had this channel, considering how long it took me to get here from 200 to 300. So thank you guys so much. And I know that it's probably not going to get any easier once we try to reach 400. So, but yeah, but like, yeah, but I can officially say that I've had the most amount of subscribers I've ever had, and 300. That's a lot of people. That's a lot of people. I mean, you can probably fit that amount of people in a gymnasium, but hey.
Depending on the gym.
Yeah, depending on the gym. But yeah, and also I gotta promote our boys, Hunter and Zach, their podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah, make sure to go subscribe to their podcast, Brothers&Combat podcast, the D&D podcast, and also...
They will be out in 4-5 days?
Because when this is out, the first episode will already be out. So yes, at this point, the first episode is already out. It's every Wednesday, 12 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. And so if you can figure out your time zone with that and whatnot. And they have a YouTube channel, and you can also check them out on Spotify. So yes, that's cool. It's an audio podcast, and me and Kirby are on there doing a campaign, or Zach's campaign with Hunter. It's been a lot of fun. We recorded a lot of episodes. If you guys are wondering why I took a break from gaming uploads for a few weeks, that's why. It's because I was trying to focus on his podcast and try and get that up and running. And yeah, so the link will be down there. Go check out their podcast. If you guys think we're out of pocket on this podcast, wait until you listen to that podcast.
You know, real quick, I would like to point out that in June, which is Pride Month,
yeah,
is also the same month that we have Flag Day. I don't know why. I was just looking at my calendar to see how far away I am from turning 20.
Oh, yeah.
2 weeks.
Yeah, well, when this is out, it will be like 4 days when this is out.
What up, guys? I'm 20 year away from smoking the bitches, drinking my hog.
But we're
beating women.
But real quick, I just want to say thank you.
I'm gonna have a wife.
Real quick, I'm gonna say, I just want to appreciate you guys for 300 subscribers. That's definitely probably the biggest milestone I'm most proud of, because I remember hitting 200. That was a huge one.
I've hit 200 babies.
Jesus Christ. But like 300, that's a lot.
I'm at 299 babies slapped.
And I'm very proud of it. I'm very proud of
Me too.
I'm very proud of how the channel's evolving, and because
the babies don't live past enough to take revenge. I deformed them so hard by how hard I slapped them.
Well, because I feel like lately...
they will never take vengeance on me.
Okay, can you please just shut the fuck up for a second?
Quasimodo licking ass.
Oh my god. But I want to say that like, because I know with like the YouTube algorithm, like it's always changing, and it's just a matter of trying to find like what works for your channel and whatnot, and that's what I've been trying to figure out with my main channel.
Channel all my energy into slapping kids.
And that's why you guys have been enjoying like the music stuff, like reacting to different kinds of music and the paranormal stuff too. You guys enjoy the hell out of that right now. So
Babies crying makes
I'm just gonna use the strategy of just doing what works and whatnot, and hope that you guys enjoy it and
those babies
whatnot.
Can never work.
So,
I slap them too hard.
Okay, I'll just shut the fuck up because he keeps talking about slapping babies. So
that's just what I call women. No, but
what? Back talking about fucking crack. Talking crack. Could you fucking imagine that the podcast is fucking like talking crack? It has like a window crack logo on it, like some sort of crack icon in the name. That'd be fire, actually.
I was about to say that didn't sound funny. That just sounded like a good idea.
We create a third podcast called Talking Crack. And we invite like fucking Snoop Dogg, freaking like.
Okay, Snoop Dogg hasn't done crack.
Well, not done crack, but like people that have like.
Well,
involved.
actually, maybe.
Well, people.
Snoop Dogg was in gangs. I don't know. I don't know too much about.
We invite interesting people on that podcast. People that have done shit.
Inviting people who got molested. First airing, Justin Bieber.
The Jeffrey Epstein victims.
Now inviting someone who was on that Epstein, Hillary Clinton.
Next episode, Vince McMahon.
Now, tell me, how'd you feel when you took a shit on her face? Featuring a podcast where someone here had sex with a girl with Down syndrome. Welcome, gumping it.
She was getting better.
I don't think you could get better from Down syndrome.
I'm concerned they're like the happiest people you can know. Concerned to what I've seen. I've never met someone personally with Down syndrome.
Syndrome is down, but hopes are up.
You should have up syndrome, you know what I'm saying?
Handy capable at math. Really am. I failed math twice.
Math or meth? No, I'm kidding.
Both. Now you see, those are some of those classes I'm glad I failed.
How did they come? Well, because like the name math, like involving like numbers.
I'm guessing they thought the person who's making the definition of math, they thought that he was on drugs because he's just writing a bunch of symbols. And it's like, okay, if Johnny has 20 apples,
X equals C.
And then he buys 20 million. Oh. And the next day he's like, why the fuck is Johnny buying 20 million fucking apples?
Okay, I will definitely believe that people who create like fucking like letters equaling each other definitely was on fucking crack.
Because oh yeah, how the X fuck equals Y.
Yeah, like how the fuck is that even a thing? Like how did that get in our fucking schools?
I actually agree.
Really?
Yeah, have you ever heard of the Pythagorean theorem?
It sounds familiar for some reason. What?
I've never heard anyone in my life say, Pythagorean theorem, that sounds familiar. Here, hold it. I'll search it up. I can't name it.
I'll search it up.
No, because I don't know it off of definition, but I know about it. In the sense of, like, I know... It's a math thing. It's been a long time since I've had to use it. It's like a formula used for math. The Fibonacci sequence is another one, if you know what that is. It's like a circle. Type in if it fits in that circle. It's a Fibonacci.
Yeah.
But Pythagorean theorem is made by a Greek named Pythagorean.
Okay. I still can't get over the talking crack name for a podcast.
Oh, sorry, Pythagoras.
Yeah, like what the fuck is that?
So no, actually, this is more along the lines of geometry. So if you look, we have an angle.
Yeah.
So C being A. Now let's just say that this is going to be an actual tower. A is like 12. C is 15, and B is 14. Then it would be C squared equals A squared plus B squared instead of A squared plus B squared equals C squared. Yeah. Because that is the theory of A squared plus B squared equals C squared is Einstein's theory of relativity.
Okay.
And if math, I absolutely love math. but I like it for the realistic aspect because I don't like thinking. Like, here's the thing about
You said math, not meth. Calm down.
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry. We were talking about math, so I couldn't help myself. We're totally not gonna.
I just popped my ear doing that.
We're totally not gonna make a podcast called Talking Crack when we're gonna be
smoking meth with the boys
about drugs.
Smoking meth on Saturday.
I'm kidding. We're underage.
So, have you ever heard about Einstein's theory of relativity?
Einstein's. I feel like I was hearing about it.
Time is relative.
Yeah.
So do you know what that means?
God, it's been so fucking long.
Perception.
Yeah.
Okay. You obviously never heard of it. Don't say it's been too long.
I failed 5th grade. Shut the fuck up.
You didn't learn this in 5th grade. I did. I was learning sex ed in 5th grade.
So was I, and I got held back.
I'm not gonna lie. I wasn't able to take sex ed. My mom didn't allow me.
That sex ed was fire. I took it twice.
Got a degree in it. Certification, your mother.
No, that's honestly what kind of sucked though. Is that like that first year of 5th grade, just knowing I had to go through that fucking sex ed process again.
That was kind of bars. Sex ed process again. But no, so my mom wouldn't allow me to take it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And the reason why is because she thought I was too immature. And looking back, she fucked me over. Because you know how old I was when I discovered AIDS was a thing?
What?
9th grade.
Damn.
You know how I didn't know STDs were a thing. I just thought that you stuck it in, pee in her butt, and then the girl got pregnant.
Fucking pee in her butt. Oh god, I'm such a child. Fucking pee in her butt.
Yeah, you know, slap her titties, pee in her butt, she gets pregnant. No, okay. I didn't genuinely think that. I mean, when you're young, you kind of think that. You know, like, yeah, the man pees in the girl and then they have a baby. But no, my mom didn't allow me to take sex ed, so I remember how I discovered on how children were made was this. I was with my grandma outside of my school waiting for my brother. This kid comes up to me and is like, wow, do you know that a man and woman have sex to have a baby? And that's where I learned what it was. But no. So here, before we get off topic, this is the theory of relativity.
Okay.
Time is relative, which you could look at it in these two ways. I think that it's what I look at it from.
Yeah.
Is either multiverse actually, where it's like it wasn't meant to happen in this universe, but in the next universe this happens because time is the only thing that moves forward. So they would think that, like, you know, in this universe this happened, but things could happen at different times. Yeah. You know, where it's like, what if someone missed an apple by this much amount of time, and then it just, you know, now aliens are invading during World War One. It's like it's that theory, but then it's like you've seen Into the Spider-Verse or Across the Spider-Verse.
Yeah, didn't we watch that?
Not the one with Miguel, the 2099 Spider-Man. The
one
before that, you know, with the female Doc Ock.
Yeah.
Where he's like, you're late. Where he says Einstein's theory of relativity. Maybe I'm not late. Maybe you're early.
Yeah.
That's kind of what it means. So it was a theory, and actually, there a better way to prove it. Time traveling does exist. So
I always thought that was a myth, though. But people said that, like...
Okay, here's the thing. We wanted to test it, and we did, by going into the second by 1 second.
Yeah.
It's possible, because I think... I don't know how to explain it, but that did happen. I think... Don't quote me on it. But how it works... say this is the Big Bang. Now you see, after the Big Bang, this is where time was. Oh, dude, it's blowing air out of my eye socket. Like, listen. Hold on. No, like, put your finger right there, and then if I. You feel the air coming out from my eye?
You guys can hear
what
that.
the fuck? Anyways, I need to keep this going for the comedy.
Now you see, if this was where the center of the universe happened. Oh, my ears. Oh, don't swallow when you have this. So this is where the center of the universe happened, right? This is where time was created. I sound like that nerd going, actually.
Fucking Squidward.
I want to go home now. Do we have math homework today?
Sound like Squidward for some reason.
This is hurting my nose.
Take it off.
No, I need to do this bit. Okay, so this is where time was created, right? Like, this is where the center of the universe came from.
Sorry.
Alright, so the Big Bang, it expanded.
Expanded.
It expanded. And it expanded, into what we have now is like the parts of the universe we can't reach because it's always expanding.
Yeah.
If you go to the edge of the universe, it will be like
Okay, you want me to take it off?
Yeah.
Okay. So if you go to the end of the universe, it would be like going to the edge of the universe. You would see the Big Bang happen because that part of the universe has just been created.
Yeah.
And keep in mind, the Big Bang moves faster than the speed of light.
Yeah.
So when you go to the edge of the universe, then you would see the universe be created in that moment. In the sense of like the Big Bang just reached there.
Yeah.
Whereas if you were to go closer to where the Big Bang happened, you would be able to see the end of the universe. Because here's how it works. And time only moves within the borders of the universe.
Yeah.
And how it works is we got the Big Bang, we got the edge of the universe, and then we're in this part right here.
Yeah.
Whereas, say, if you were to travel this far out, you would be able to go back enough to a part where dinosaurs were still on Earth. So that's how it works. So that's why they say the speed of light can equal time traveling. It's true in the sense of how far you travel.
Yeah.
Time is not as linear as we think. It is one of the only things that is not within humans' control. You, in the sense of, say if you go this far out into that universe where the dinosaurs are alive, if you go back to Earth, it would be like hard to explain this part because this is something that'd be hard to explain. Is going back, you wouldn't know if it'd be like you go back immediately to that same time or thousands of years had passed.
Yeah.
Actually, another best example of this is black holes. Black holes are made from the stars.
Yeah.
The same thing our sun's made out of. When they explode, they cause something called a supernova, which is this blue giant amount of stardust that destroys solar systems. Like, it burns everything in that solar system. It's an amazing explosion. And then all that energy then is basically like a vacuum in that in the middle of that sun's core. It kind of like does something to the atoms in the universe where it just, and then that like spark, it creates this tear in the universe. And then everything around it, whether it's light cannot escape a black hole.
Yeah, I know. It
all gets compacted in, and then it creates this hole. If you were to fall into a black hole, they talk about some of the effects. The spaghettification is an example of like your body would thin out. If you fell into a black hole, the way that it works is you could look out and you could see the end of the universe in a black hole by the way time speeds up.
Damn.
That's why they have the theory that black holes are wormholes to other dimensions.
Yeah.
But the other thing that's interesting about black holes, they have this theory of white holes, where at the top of the black hole is where everything is pushed in, and then below it, everything is pushed out in this white beam of light.
Okay.
There's also the Great Attractor. Have you ever heard of that? So here's the thing also about the solar system, and you might have learned it from Markiplier's Space, the one where it's like, oh, it's so cool.
Yeah.
When he was playing that game, he described it as if you zoom out, you see the entire planet traveling.
Yeah.
The solar system that we're in almost every solar system, doesn't just sit still. It moves with the sun. And so the planets move around the sun.
Yeah.
And there's something called the Great Attractor, which has been attracting multiple galaxies. Oh, like the photos of it are terrifying. As in, like, what we predict it is.
Yeah.
But it's something pretty close to this.
That's pretty, though.
Right there in that big globe, it's pulling every single galaxy into that one point.
Huh.
And we don't know why. But if you want to know actually what is probably going to be the scariest thing about the universe is, you know how stars disappear? The universe doesn't end.
Yeah.
It's just as far as we could see. So what happens is eventually there's going to be stars and galaxies still.
Yeah.
No matter what, they're still going to be created. But the ones that we could see are going to burn out or go away eventually. And it's going to become the part where you cannot see anything from Earth.
Damn.
That's going to be like trillions of years, though.
Yeah.
But also at the same time, think about it like stars. Most of the stars that you see in the sky, they reach Earth because light takes time to travel.
Yeah.
Their stars have already died. But their light has not stopped reaching Earth.
Okay.
Planets can even take the shape of a sun.
Yeah.
If a planet gets hot enough, or like another planet collides into a planet, it can create another sun. And actually, two suns can exist in the same solar system. Yeah, there's a... Not only that, people talk about like Earth is the only inhabitable planet, and I'm not talking about Mars. There's planets where if you go to them, they have oceans and trees like ours that you could breathe at.
Yeah.
They're just so far away. That's the reason why they think that we could colonize Mars, is if we put trees on it and water.
Yeah.
It's missing kind of some key ingredients though. Which is I don't know if it's on Mars, but carbon dioxide.
Okay.
And water. Water, when it burns enough, creates oxygen. That's why Earth is perfect for us.
Yeah.
Actually, and here's the thing. People think that like, oh, we became perfect for Earth. Earth became perfect for us. That's why we're here.
Yeah.
Literally, the Earth that we have allows us to live. So, and when people talk about that with evolution, it seems like we were always meant to be here. You can only have life on land is if there's oxygen, water, and fire.
Yeah.
Those are the three fundamentals that you need. But, however, that's if you're living on land.
Yeah.
If you're living in the water, all you need is water.
Yeah.
In other life forms. They've recently launched investigations into one of the, I think, Jupiter's moons, because they believe that they saw a fish creature in the ocean because their moon off one of Jupiter's planets is nothing but an ocean. The entire planet is nothing but water.
Huh.
Either that or Neptune. Because Neptune is just nothing but water.
Yeah.
Where they believe that they found fish living in them. Which is amazing, because in that case, that means that we have the closest thing to an alien that we could study.
Yeah.
But that makes you imagine, like, what would a fish from another world look like?
Yeah.
Like, there's some planets we can't ever go to. Jupiter.
Yeah.
Because it rains acid. They sent a drone to Jupiter, and I think it only lasted a minute.
Damn.
Before it died.
Damn.
Yeah, but that's where it's like, we're so fortunate that we have Earth, is because how it basically was formed is, if we're going off the scientific and not the religious reason, a comet had that carried carbon dioxide, which comes from meteorites.
Yeah.
That's one of the reasons why you see them burn so bright when they enter the atmosphere. And it crashed down, and when I mean a meteor, I mean a meteor bigger than the ones that killed the dinosaurs. And that's how you get water on Earth.
Yeah.
That's how you got water on Neptune, I'm pretty sure. I could be wrong. Please correct me if I'm wrong. Please correct me if I'm wrong. That the meteors that came down were big enough that they were able to fill a lot with water.
Yeah.
Basically. Either that or it could be another thing of the world. I'm not sure about that.
Yeah.
But it released dioxide, which is what you need for fire. And then it created, before the dinosaurs, we had like a lot of volcanoes. And then we had a lot of water, but there was no like, because of the heat, there was no like a lot of land. And here's the thing, the water was so spread out around the world to the point that it was just like nothing but volcanoes or volcanoes underwater. And then the heat made them rise up, and then they fell in certain places, creating mountain territories, land as we know it.
Yeah.
And then that's when you get more dinosaurs start coming in. And then you get into the, after the dinosaurs ends, you get into the BCE era, which is called Before Christ Evolved. And this is where you see the biggest fundamentals of history. You see bows and arrows are made for the first time. You see tools start being developed. But the BCE spans pretty far. Yeah. And here's just a quick thing, just for anyone who doesn't know this about history. BCE, BC, and AD. Those are the time periods that we have for humans, I'm pretty sure. So, before Christ evolved, before Christ, after death.
I was thinking, was there like one like during Christ? Or...
DC?
Yeah.
No, that's AD. That's the time frame that we're in.
Oh, okay.
After death.
Oh, okay.
And it got Christianized mostly because of the English, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Because they're like, oh, we're in the new millennium after Jesus died. We're gonna call it after death, and the whole world's gonna follow, or else we're gonna rape them. We're gonna do it anyways. Who am I kidding? It's after death, guys.
Oh,
that's basically how that happened. So whenever people are like, oh, really, you don't believe in Christianity? Then how come we're in 2018 AD, after death?
Yeah.
Because I can't argue with the rest of the world what we want to call this fucking era. Fuck you, Chris. So, BCE, it goes from 35,000. I'm just throwing a number out there, by the way. Is if you read the way it goes down, it counts down instead of going up.
Okay.
So it goes from like 35,000 to 1, and 1 is the end of that period into BC.
Okay.
And then I'm pretty sure BC is the same way, but BCE, even as ancient as that sounds, that's where you got some of the biggest figures in history. Cleopatra, Alexander the Great, Julius Caesar.
Yeah.
These people were alive during the BCE era. And to show this on how amazing this is, cavemen existed during this time, right? And because of that, mammoths existed. Cleopatra, I believe, was alive. Or no, not Cleopatra. The pyramids were being built the same time that the mammoths were still alive.
Damn.
It's amazing when you think about like history happens in like the same periods.
Yeah.
Then you go to BC, which again I don't know a lot about, but that's where you see more like civilizations start coming more apparent in our history. Yeah. Particularly in places of the Middle East, Afghanistan, Iraq. And it's sad when you look at them nowadays. They used to be where civilization started. Yeah. They were the first civilizations. And they were so beautiful, too. Like, Egypt was another good example. And Egypt always still kind of stayed that way.
Yeah.
But, oh my god, no. Iraq had this thing called, like, this garden where it had gold in the walls. There was diamonds in the walls. And then it got ransacked for all the wealth that was in it. Like, war destroyed that place. And it's been nothing but a country of war kind of since.
Yeah.
But it's also rich in culture. Just a lot of people can't stop struggling long enough to learn about the entire history. And then that brings me on to actually one of the saddest topics. Before we leave, I would like to talk about the burning of the Library of Alexandria. That fucking kills me. Do you know anything about the Library of Alexandria? Cleopatra studied at this place called the Library of Alexandria. It was in Alexandria, in place kind of like Greek or Roman.
Yeah. And
it was famous because everything that was written down in the BCE era or not everything, but a lot of things that were written down in the BCE era or the BC era in the ancient world was recorded and kept in the Library of Alexandria, and it was burnt. We lost so much history on the way people acted. Like Stonehenge is a good example. We could have known what was the point of Stonehenge if we had the Library of Alexandria. It had all of the knowledge of the ancient world, and it was burned down by a rival force to break their spirits. It was one of the saddest things that if you're a historian and you learn about, it kills you inside.
Yeah.
Because it makes you think, how much could we have known? It's one of the only things that it keeps me up at night. No, because you just want to know, like, why did these people do these? And then we're like, we don't know. Easter Island could have been a good example. The heads.
Yeah.
Oh my god, it's one of the saddest things. It brought humanity back to the Dark Ages because it had more than just history. It had ingredients for medicine that they had at that time, for ship sailing from different countries. It was one of the only things in the entire world that truly made a difference. It was the only thing that was very advanced in civilization, and it was destroyed.
Yeah.
And then you get to the AD era, which is what they call after death.
Yeah.
In this era, you see society become more dominant.
Yeah.
A lot more people started banding together. It was kind of almost acceptable to not be alone anymore for a lot of people.
Yeah.
So that's how you get a lot of countries like Japan, China. And then you start seeing China, I'm pretty sure, was still a pretty big powerhouse during the BC era. Japan made its dent in the AD era, though.
Yeah.
They were always known, actually, for their sword making. The way that they made their swords, no one else in the world did.
Yeah.
Then you get to, I want to say 800 AD. And this is around the first time you actually start seeing the samurai. And samurai actually lasted, I believe, from 800 AD to 1800s. They lasted 1,000 years.
Damn.
Actually, the last samurai, you could has a descendant that's still alive. As in, like, great-great-great-grandson.
Yeah.
But the last samurai was old enough that he could have sent a message to Abraham Lincoln.
Damn.
Yeah, 1860s.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and you know what? We have space is so cool. It's just history. It's so fucking cool. Alright, bye guys.
But I know this was a fucking longer one than usual. An hour and 12.
I just want to see another joke.
No. Don't you fucking dare.
Oh,
Don't you fucking...
what are you gonna do?
Fucking...
What are you gonna do?
Don't you fucking dare. Don't. Stop. No.
Cause I'm having a good time.
But anyways, if you guys enjoyed, make sure to subscribe to the podcast if you haven't already. We're at 26
I would like to
podcast
point
subscribers.
out the amount of topics that we got into. That we went into drugs. What else did we get into? We went to Epstein Island a bit.
Yeah, we went all over the fucking place, but
History is the only part I really excel at. That's what I'll say.
yeah.
Honestly, I feel like I should be a teacher.
I mean, I know history as far as in, like, not like that depth into history, but history as in, like,
Events.
yeah, like,
The Civil War.
Yeah,
The American Revolution.
things like that.
The French Revolution.
Yeah.
The Mongolian invasion of Japan that happened 3 different times. The Shan, Zhou, Qin, Han, Seitan Han, Wani Qin Republic. The Mao Zedong eras of China. You obviously know about those, right?
sure.
The Shan, Zhou, Qin, Han, the Seitan Han, the Wani Qin Republic, Mao Zedong.
Anyways, but if you guys enjoyed, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and the link in the description. Subscribe to my main channel. Let's get to 400 subscribers. No, and then we just hit 300. And then subscribe to Hunter and Zach's podcast.
We're in it too, by the way. We're not characters, but we play in that podcast. In D&D. We're just not the hosts.
Yeah, it's every Wednesday, 12 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. First episode just released.
It's an audio podcast, no video, so you can't see me jorking it.
It's on YouTube and on Spotify. So you can check that out.
Check out my Pornhub.
Okay, and
this week's visitor on my Pornhub is Riley Reid.
Jesus fucking Christ.
We're actually gonna summon China back from the dead using Undertaker's ashtray.
I'm done yet.
Okay, Dad.
But hope you guys enjoyed. If you should like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you guys so much for 300 subscribers. I love you guys. And yeah, as always, we'll see you guys next week. Oh, and also, if any of y'all can come up with ideas I can do for 300 subscribers, something painful, I don't know, like a fucking spicy hot chip challenge, where the fuck, from like a challenge, or like something you want me to do with the guys, or just think of the funniest or whatever thing that you can think of, and send me ideas my way. So yeah, because I'm trying to figure out an idea for 300. So if you guys enjoyed, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And as always, we'll see you guys next week.
I don't get anything to say.
Well, you talked for like a good little over a half hour about history and shit, so.
One last history fact before I go. Quick one. They believed women were witches during the bubonic plague. And the reason why they never got the plague was plagues were on rats. And if the women had specifically cats, the cats would kill the mice or the rats. Mm. And they would never get the plague. And it's the reason why you see cats associated with witches.
I still believe when women are witches. Anyways, like, comment, and subscribe. I already said, you guys know the deal. You guys know the deal, so yeah. So
you guys know the deal that me and Jacob made with Satan.
Like, comment, and subscribe, and as always, we'll see you guys next week.
Bye-bye.
Deuces. Fucking do it if you're gonna do it.
Are you or am I?
Do it if you're gonna do it.
Rock, paper, scissors.
Jesus, just fucking do it. We're already an hour and 16. We're already 16 over. Oh my fucking god. Okay. Fucking.
Trapping.